to be honest, I've toyed with this. I've talked to some people. Maybe postpartum my career, I would love to partake in something like UFC or even boxing. I've talked to Dana White about some stuff, but we'll see as things go on. We'll see.
So what if I told you that NBA's, the National Basketball Association's one of their biggest basketball stars is seriously considering stepping into the UFC Octagon. Now, in all fairness, this particular individual that I'm about to talk about actually considered exploring the opportunity of doing boxing and UFC as well too. I found this to be absolutely fascinating, guys. I wanted to share it with you guys, but I want to chat with you guys about that. And all of this is happening on the eve of probably some of the biggest potential crossover fights that might be happening, this year. I mean, we're talking, just yesterday I did a video on how Sneeko leaked out private and confidential text messages from Andrew Tate and Misfits Boxing about the possibility of fighting Andrew Tate. And then, and there's some other individuals as well too. By the way, Khabib Nurmagomedov recently was spotted training with Anthony Joshua. Actually, Anthony Joshua went to go visit Khabib and his camp and his team and spent some time there, just practicing, hanging out. And Khabib himself said that he truly feels that Anthony Joshua should make the transition into MMA and try considering fighting because he would do a heck of a job. Can you imagine Anthony Joshua? Anthony Joshua, guys, in the Octagon. Wow, that would be incredible. I mean, I don't know if you guys remember, but I did a little video on Anthony Joshua and Paddy Pimblett. They're both sponsored by the same company, Under Armour, and they did a little kind of promotional stint. And Paddy Pimblett, and Anthony Joshua are just kind of playfully wrestling in the Octagon, and then Paddy Pimblett took Anthony Joshua down, and AJ's like, you know what? Wow, man, this sport with MMA, it's completely different and entirely new to me. I'm glad I'm not doing it. So who knows, guys? But who knows? Maybe things change, and yeah, guys, there's a lot of things happening. Tom Aspinall, his eye thing, his surgery, Tom Aspinall quitting. I'm gonna have to do a video on that. But guys, I want to talk about this story featuring one of basketball's biggest NBA players thinking of potentially crossing over into the Octagon and having discussions with Dana White just to top it all off. So before I get into all this, if you guys aren't aware, I'm Shiraz. I'm the host of Duality 7X. So thank you guys for jumping on board and watching this video. But I also have a special thank you to each and every one of you. Thank you to all the subscribers and all the people that's continued to support us. We've hit 5,000 subscribers, guys, and that's a huge milestone for our channel. And I couldn't have done any of this, obviously, without you. So thank you very much. And now I look forward to climbing even newer heights, potentially 10,000, 20,000, 100,000. Who knows, guys? The sky's the limit. But you know that we post daily. There's no biasness. At least I try not to be biased. No fillers, no fluff. Just real fight content. So if you guys like and hear what you see, you're definitely at the right place. All we ask is that you smash the like and subscribe and hit the notification so you guys never miss a beat. So let's get right into this juicy story, and I can't wait to share with you guys some more context regarding this NBA basketball star who wants to cross over into the UFC potentially. So there's no joking here, guys. This is not a clickbait tact to bring you guys into the video. This is serious. Conversations have been happening behind the scenes with Dana White, and if you guys are wondering who I'm talking about, it's none other than Jaylen Brown. Guys, Jaylen Brown. Holy schmoly. Imagine Jaylen Brown to the UFC. I can see the headlines right now, guys. I mean, let's talk about what this really means, guys, and let me give you some context. But look, this, I mean, if you guys know what's going on right now, the NBA All-Star week, events are happening, and look, it was the NBA All-Star Media Day, and the Boston Celtics star Jaylen Brown, he dropped a comment that literally shook up the world. All right, and it was interesting because I'm reading all this, and I saw the first post that I saw was from MMA Junkie. So shout out to MMA Junkie and Nolan King for writing this for writing that article that I saw. But I was just blown away. I was just so wildly impacted by the possibility of an NBA star crossing over into the Octagon. I mean, I've seen NBA players before coming into WWE, like Dennis Rodman, Carl the Mailman Malone, but for somebody to actually come from the NBA and cross over into the UFC, holy man, that would be absolutely crazy. And first of all, these guys are big dudes, okay? They're super athletic. They're when it comes to dieting, exercising, and training, I mean, these guys are at the top of their tier. Now, all they need to do, and if they have any kind of background in any kind of mixed martial arts or even boxing, that would give them the foundation to start with, right? But I mean, at this age, of course, it is a little bit harder. It's not harder to cross over into the world of MMA, but it might be hard in terms of gaining some kind of success because you're fighting folks that this is all they've been doing all their lives, and then you're playing another sport and just happen to kind of cross over into it, and all of a sudden you want to jump into the octagon. It's a different ball game, but that's not to say it hasn't happened before. You had Brock Lesnar, who came from the WWE, who had a wrestling background, okay? And Brock Lesnar did absolutely incredible in the UFC. He won a world heavyweight championship. That speaks volumes, guys. Phil Brooks, CM Punk, he tried to jump into the octagon. He did have a kind of a Muay Thai background. Very, very popular wrestler, but it just didn't work out for him in the WWE, and it's too bad. Maybe he needed some more training. Maybe it was the fighters. I'm not sure. But he kind of got thrown into it. Didn't work out. Kimbo Slice, the famous backyard boxer fighter. Kimbo came in and he did pretty good. He didn't do too bad. Rest in peace, Kimbo. But anyways, guys, Jaylen Brown at All-Star Media Day, I mean, he said this may sound like a joke, but he was serious, and he plans. He actually he did consider boxing, UFC. He still likes both of those sports, but he does plan at some point. He is planning at fighting before his career is over. So when he says before his career is over, I mean, to me that indicates that before his basketball career is over, he wants to do some kind of maybe a promotional stint or opportunity to cross over and do a fight, maybe some kind of an exhibition fight, perhaps. I don't know what all that entails, but what I do know and what we can verify is that he did have talks with Dana White about it, and he still seems to be quite serious. So obviously those talks went well, to the point that he has some kind of confidence, thinking that this could potentially happen. I mean, he stated, and these are his words, that I've toyed with this. Okay, this is Jaylen Brown speaking. Jaylen Brown said that he's toyed with the idea, that he's talked to some people, Dana White, and perhaps maybe some other folks, and maybe, maybe post part of his career, while in his career, he'd love to partake in something like the UFC or even boxing, right? And then the reason this gets really serious is that he's already confirmed that conversations have happened with the top tier folks, and he pretty much named out Dana White, and Dana White's one of those guys that he's a no BS kind of a dude. if there's something that Dana doesn't like, if he doesn't think it's going to happen, he's just going to laugh it off, and he'll politely turn it down. But for those conversations to have happened, like happened in the past, and for Jaylen to come out and talk about this so candidly in front of the cameras, when most people would think about him talking about basketball, but for him to be talking about UFC and boxing and bringing up and dropping Dana White's name in the mix, those conversations might have actually been pretty positive. And that's crazy, guys. And right? And I mean, look, this is no random gym talk, no fantasy booking crap. I mean, this is direct communication with probably one of the most powerful promoters in MMA. And I'm not just MMA. Remember, Dana's got Zuffa Boxing. They've already done some events here, and he's really serious. And I'm talking about Dana here. Dana's very serious about making a dent in boxing. And, maybe I'll say it, but making boxing great again. But that said, Dana has exposed some things that he doesn't like about the current hierarchical structure or governing bodies or sanctioning bodies, if you want to call it that kind of are very influential in boxing. And Dana's not the kind of guy who wants to go in there and start cleaning up things. He wasn't hired to do that. This is not a job. Dana is creating his own brand of boxing within the sport, and he's going to try to centralize it similarly to what he's done in the UFC. There's only one belt. It's the UFC belt. People who fight in Bellator or PFL or other organizations, they don't come in there with their titles draped on their shoulders competing for a UFC belt. Fighters who are in the UFC are fighters in the UFC. They do not fight in other organizations. So he's trying to create a similar kind of culture and environment in Zuffa like he did with the UFC. And guess what, guys? UFC is very, very popular, and some argue that it's even more popular than boxing. So I mean, we're just at the infancy of what Zuffa is doing. Just wait, after a couple years, maybe a few years, Zuffa is going to be a household name. And I wouldn't be surprised if some major promoters, possibly even sanctioning bodies, might even not be around anymore within the next few years. So anyways, guys, I don't want to get off tangent here, but going back to Jaylen Brown, I mean, Brown didn't walk it. Whatever he said, he didn't walk it back. Okay, he doubled down. With we'll see as things go on. So I have a feeling that he might be looking at wanting to do some kind of an exhibition, some kind of a promotional bout, perhaps maybe within the Octagon. But if you want to break this down, guys, Jaylen is 6'6", man. He's a walking giant. The guy's 223 pounds, lean muscle. I'm pretty sure his body fat percentage is probably 8%, if that, maybe 9%. But look, I mean, cutting 17 pounds to make light heavyweight at 205, because right now he's kind of like a heavyweight, right? I mean, that could be a little challenging. Or he could go straight into the heavyweight division. So I don't know, and that's the other thing. If Jaylen is really serious about wanting to compete in MMA, wanting to do UFC, what weight class is he going to do it at? Does he want to do it at cruiser? Does he want to do it at light heavyweight? Does he want to do it at heavyweight? Because right now he's classified as a heavyweight. And so anyways, this is where things get very interesting. Things get very real and very, very fast. So because heavyweight in the UFC is not celebrity boxing, guys, right? I mean, we're talking about guys like Tom Aspinall, who I've already alluded to earlier in this video, who subsequently quit, right? But I mean, this is the kind of level of caliber of fighters, right? Cyril Gane. I mean, you've got guys like Alex Pereira, who's a light heavyweight, but flirting with the idea of going heavyweight. You got big boy Sergey Pavlovich. I mean, this guy's a monster, all right? And when the guys that I'm just talking about here have serious knockout power, all right? So I don't know what Jaylen's ability is like. I don't know what martial arts dreams he's trained and practiced in or boxing. I mean, I'm not sure to what level he's done it, if he's fought amateur before, if he's had some pre-exhibition bouts in the past, and I'm not even sure what entirely is the reasoning for him wanting to go this path. So I'm pretty sure more news is going to kind of come out of it, because MMA is not just being athletic, and it's not about pure athleticism and making sure that you're eating the right foods and having the right kind of vitamins and saying your prayers. And what did Hulk Hogan always say? Eat your vitamins, say your prayers. But I mean, no, this is not, MMA is a different world, folks. Okay, this is about grappling. It's about striking. It's about having octagon IQ, knowing how to distance control between your opponent, knowing when to be able to get on in the inside against your opponent, knowing when to clinch, knowing how to use the cage, knowing when to do your when to take to exhibit your takedowns. I mean, guys, you got to have years and years and years of combat experience, honestly, to fight in the octagon. It's not easy. And a lot of guys who are newcomers who get into the octagon sometimes come from like a boxing or a wrestling background, where they already have some of the foundational skills to be able to help them navigate in the very labyrinth-like complex format that we call the octagon. It's not easy. It looks easy. It looks simple, because when we see it, we see an octagon, but I mean, it's like a video game. It's like a computer. It's like going in there and making sure that you have the necessary formulas in your head to be able to pull off your strategy. And it's not easy. It's like a boxing ring as well, too, guys. This is why there's such a thing as MMA and boxing IQ, and MMA and boxing masterclass, and technical aptitude and skill sets. You got to have that. Right? So I'm curious to know what level Jaylen Brown's at. I mean, we've seen, I mentioned before, I've dropped a couple names about some elite athletes who transition into the UFC. Brock Lesnar was one of the ones that I named. He had an NFL background. He was a wrestler. He became UFC champion, guys. That is incredible. All right? He still has a great relationship with Dana. And you never know. The guy could still probably fight. But I mean, at what level? I don't know. He is getting up there, and his knees are not the greatest. His legs are not the greatest anymore. But Brock was a force to be reckoned with, and he probably still could be a force to be reckoned with, considering that the heavyweight division is changing and shuffling quick with the absence now of Tom Aspinall. I mean, guys, it could be anyone's game. Then you have Ronda Rousey. Okay, Ronda Rousey was an Olympic gold medalist, guys. All right, she was a UFC champion, and she crossed over into the world of the WWE. She became one of their biggest stars, and there's still potential. I mean, there's still rumors swirling up about the possibility of Ronda coming back into the folds of the Octagon community. Now, Henry Cejudo. Here's another name, guys. Olympic wrestler, double champ. I mean, these are some of the guys who crossed over. Even guys like Dave Bautista, who was a WWE wrestler, now an A-list Hollywood actor. Even he got into the octagon and had some MMA bouts, and I believe he was pretty successful at it as well, too. It wasn't in the UFC, but different organizations. So the blueprint for crossover transitioning exists. It's out there. But the difference is that these athletes that I just mentioned came from some kind of a combat sports type of background. Jaylen Brown is coming from the world of basketball. I mean, he could dunk on you. He could do a 1-2 fadeaway jumper. He could do a layup. And he could play 3-on-3, could play 5-on-5. I mean, this guy, when it comes to basketball, he's an all-star elite level player. But what does he know about the octagon? What does he know about boxing? What does he know about combat sports? Now, look, guys, this story is just beginning. It's just growing. It's developing, right? And it's not whether about Jaylen Brown can fight. I'm sure he can fight. A lot of these NBA players can fight. But this, to me, represents something really bigger. And see, combat sports, it's become the ultimate crossover magnet. Okay, you've got NFL players, you've got NBA players, CFL players, influencers, lots of influencers. We talked about that earlier. boxers, WWE wrestlers, not just WWE, but wrestlers from all different organizations, guys, entertainers, actors, I'm sure. I wonder if Jay Gyllenhaal would actually consider coming into the UFC. But guys, the UFC isn't just a fight league anymore. It's mainstream culture. It's ingrained in our heads. It's come from, years and years and years of a tried, true, perfected system. It's literally turnkey. Whatever the UFC puts out there is going to be absolutely stellar. All right. So from a business standpoint, right, if a prime, elite, all-star NBA basketball champion calls Dana White and says that he wants to fight, if you're Dana, you're taking that meeting because, out of curiosity, you got to know what's going on here. This kind of stuff just doesn't happen like that out of the blue, but the buzz alone itself is absolutely valuable. So look, I'm going to be 100% honest with you guys. Jaylen Brown, I love Jaylen Brown. I think he's one of my favorite NBA players. If this guy wins another championship, and then I could totally see him saying, you know what, I'm done with this now. I want to cross over. I want to start training, and I want to fight into the UFC. I could see that happening. That would be one of the biggest crossover moments in sports history. The other ones were some of the ones that I mentioned before, but I'm thinking about the time Brock Lesnar came into the UFC. Guys, this would be absolutely epic, beyond proportions. So, I don't think this is immediate. I don't think it's going to happen anytime like this year. But, I don't think we see Jaylen Brown in the Octagon even next year. Remember, this guy's still young. But I do think he's serious. And I think now he's going to probably start training. And I think it'd be a smart move for him to start training right now while he's playing basketball, and then kind of lead up, so that we get some breaking news, perhaps maybe closer to the end of, or maybe by fall this year, maybe by the end of this year, and then maybe we'll have some news swirling about the possibility of seeing Jaylen Brown in the Octagon sometime next year, or maybe at the latter part of next year. Who knows, guys? Look, I do know he's serious. I think something's cooking. I think something's going to be happening. And I think it's going to be absolutely fantastic. I'm all about crossover fights. And look, the way he phrased it, the way he consulted Dana White, the fact that he didn't laugh it off, that tells me that there's something more serious going on in the background than we know. And guys, this isn't just all-star weekend talk. The real question really comes down to is, would the UFC fast-track him in, or are they going to make him prove it on, like, say, a Contender Series or something along those lines? Now, that, my friends, would be fascinating. Guys, I want to hear from you. Please drop your thoughts and comments below. Do you guys want to see Jaylen Brown, NBA All-Star champion, survive in a UFC heavyweight, maybe light heavyweight, maybe, I don't know. What division, what weight class do you want to see Jaylen Brown fight in? Or do you think this is just crossover height, and maybe Jaylen was just having a moment and just started to talk out of his whatever? But drop your thoughts and comments below. I want to hear what you guys have to say. Again, thanks, everybody. We hit 5,000 subscribers. Let's go for 10,000, and let's keep this grassroots community going. And I'm just, if you guys got any storylines, if there's anything that you guys want to hear me talk about, put it in the comments, guys, along with what you guys have to say about, the video. And I'm listening to all of that. In fact, some of your comments have inspired me to be able to come up with some of the storylines that I talk about on this channel. So thanks again, guys. I look forward to catching you guys tomorrow, same time. Don't be late. Pleasure was all mine. Talk to you later. Bye.